in Amsterdam. There are clubs, bars, you can pick up someone, go home. Of course there are some zones in parks where you can have sex. And you have a lot of, workshops. But in my practice, I've always tried to take the things that happen behind closed doors, like a tantric workshop, like going to a Reiki healer. I always wanted to bring these works to the public. And so making a public artwork for me is like a manifesto of exposing what large culture wants to keep hidden. And the things they want to keep hidden are actually the most empowering things. And I also like the poetics of a love temple, a space dedicated to love. The opportunity of having a space in the city or somewhere, or having one room in your house, only the room for love making, where you don't have arguments, where you don't put stuff, where you don't do the laundry, but like a room that is dedicated to love, not something else. So every time you go there, you enter again your story of sexuality, of your embodiment.
Yeah, Jasper and me, we both have an artistic practice and we have a lot of overlaps and also a lot of differences, and it's like such a chance for me to do this with him and the other team members, and it actually feels very natural. What I also like is that this is for me really a place where there's like time, there's no rushing, and probably you know the saying, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it or in which state you are doing it. And I think it's very, you really feel that, like that has an effect on the space, on the people. When you meet someone, that you really have attention. And that law space is about that also for me. Why I'm so grateful to be here, to be able to live here for 2 weeks, live and work here, is it's like a reminder of like what really matters. It gives like really a sense of what makes me truly happy. Like what do I really need? What do I need to take care of that I have in my life in order to feel fulfilled and to feel joyful and connected and healthy and energetic.
Sex is kind of this, it's one of the pillars, maybe what people kind of associate the whole project around, but it's so much deeper. And that's what we're all learning, is that we really have to dive into ourselves and explore our own sexuality, our history of relationships, parental figures, social expectations, And really, how do we start to dissolve that and break that down so we can access our own truth, which is really where our sexuality and our intimacy comes from.
This is insane.
The thing that I wasn't expecting was the development of what has become a community. I had the impression that we, the 6 of us ambassadors, as we were named by Jasper, were going to be holding workshops, holding space, introducing ourselves and what we're trying to do to all comers who just turned up. Some of the things we've had up to 25 people sharing circles. This afternoon doing the ecstatic dance, there was probably a few more than that. But every time we've had a group of that size, I think they have become a community very quickly in themselves and felt very comfortable. One of the things I thought before I came here was that what people see as a love space is very different. And a lot of people, I think, would think it's going to be very intimidating because it raises issues of sex, sexuality, relationships, touching on things from their past that might be hurtful, maybe being pressured by the group to say things that they didn't want to say, and having said them don't know how to deal with it. So I think the fact that they've entered a community has made them feel safe, made them feel that if they have pushed their boundaries, that it's in a group which is supportive, and they can leave feeling reassured that what was said or what was done in that community will stay with just that community and them.
For me, there are so many aspects to this project, and you know, I didn't plan anything before I got here. So I'm so overwhelmed on how many layers this works and how it has been transforming for me, because I think it's like 2 years of therapy. What's for me important is that people have a chance to express their truth in sexuality, you know, to become very slow with it and raise the consciousness of their sexual patterns and just what they do, and if they really want to do this and how it makes them feel, because it's such a delicate subject, you know, just to explore your truth, you know, and be very gentle and very slow with it.
Workshop in a few minutes.
So we migrate across the world. Individuals, families, cultures. We go from experience to experience. But these zones, Hakim Bey calls them the temporary autonomous zone. These are zones where we can tap into, and suddenly a group of strangers can connect. These group of strangers, they will wave back into their lives, wherever they live, work, whatever they do, until there's another assembly of people. And what I find very valuable in terms of, instead of saying this is a circular, insular, isolated 60s community, these are more like landing docks. Here we land, these people are here now, and then we migrate off to other landing spots. We are not educated to be goddesses. We are not educated to own our sexual power, to say yes, to say no, to really be our own government in our own heart and genitals and soul. We are being taught that we are citizens, that we have to pay taxes, that we are born with a guilt. We are born into a system that makes us in debt, monetarily indebted, but also culturally guilty somehow.
Right now, sexuality has become a value exchange. It has become a means of manipulating and getting something for not a higher good, but for capitalism stuck in a patriarchy. So, the more there is a flattening, a cheapening, and a de-worthing, and a false communication about sex, the more there should stand up a counterculture that can educate emotionally and physically about what lovemaking truly is, and also the healing of it, you know? And plus that, a deep sexual act, tapping into this most potent creative energy, is a healing in itself. So through true love relations, intimacy, and energetic exchange, you can actually reverse the damage of sexual trauma.
This is kind of like the pioneering mothership of remembering that there is such thing as the art of care. It is an art to care for people, to create a space where total strangers can come in and shed their skins and reveal themselves and trust that they're held. And that involves a different kind of painting. It's a painting that takes a team time to embed within themselves, and that embedment and a shared vision, yeah, it totally came together to make this space. And it was a feeling, not so much a thing that you can see.